Hey everybody, welcome to the live pre-show for episode 32, which will be available tomorrow morning probably.
Yep, we're going to record that after we do this. So thank you for joining us here, and hope you have some burning San Jose Sharks questions for us. So I guess let's start off with the week in review.
Yeah. No,
Sure.
it was a good week. I mean, whenever you're going a whole week and you're not getting a W, and you played 4 games that week, back to backer as well, and you're not getting a loss on the week. That's a good week, guys.
Yeah,
so,
it's not terrible.
Yeah, not bad at all.
2019 has been very good for the Sharks so far.
Undefeated.
Ever since that clunker in Calgary.
Yeah.
Like that.
Was it Calgary?
Yeah,
Yeah, the 8 something. Yeah.
8-4, 8-5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Sharks have been on a roll, absolute tear. So, gosh, I think they said it was 13-3-2 or something like that, or 14-3-2. Their record
since the talk.
Yeah. Shuffle. Yeah, no, the coaching worked out pretty well. He's doing a good job, sounds like. So, can't complain about that. You would think that you maybe get a little uncomfortable doing a job that you wouldn't normally do, but I guess.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Wait.
Wow.
Problems like no one can believe.
Again.
Are they saying
Are you guys hearing any audio issues? All right, we are talking.
Is that better? Can you hear it? Is it not is our mics?
you're good?
Oh, we're good now?
Check
Okay,
one.
cool.
Check 2.
Well done. Super Pro. Hey!
What's up, Joe?
Speaking of Super Pro, Super Key Grip Joe just showed up on set.
All right, so
Yeah.
anyone got any burning questions on the Sharks? Go ahead and type them in there, and we'll answer them.
I went to the Barracuda game today,
Yes,
actually, and guess who I saw there?
the Barracuda.
Yes, and Coach Steve Spott.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent. What
He was there.
doing
He had like a couple things in his hands to drink and something else.
Oh, he was just going to enjoy
He
the
was
game.
he was there at the game. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he wasn't there just as a fan, but he was there, like,
Oh, it wasn't with his family.
with
or
whatever else. Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know, but wherever he went, he was going by himself.
anything. Yeah.
But so he was, had all this stuff in his hands. I go, and I look at him. I go, hey, is that Coach Spott? And he looks back at me like, somebody recognized me.
Yeah. Oh, my cover's blown.
Yeah. I'm like, is that Coach Spott? He looks back. I go, hey, how's it going? He goes, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, good job the other day because, what's his name was out? Pete DeBoer was out,
Yeah.
So, gave him a little pat, and he's trying to go through a door and open the door for him, and he goes, oh, wait, this is the wrong section. So he had to double back, go the other way. But it was cool, just getting to, give him a little chat and, hey, good job, coach, kind of thing,
Maybe he's scouting
Maybe he is.
for a winger.
That is true. Now, why would they be scouting for a winger, Aaron?
Because Donskoy got hurt.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot going on.
Oh, boy.
Hey guys, EK65 is playing well and is very comfortable, it seems, but it still doesn't seem like he wants to remain here. What do you truly think will happen? That's tough. I don't know how you would know that.
I don't what.
So I don't know what you're alluding to.
If anything, I feel like it's almost more so now that he wants to stay here. From the last couple articles that I've been reading, how he was saying that he's comfortable now, he's settled in. It's a routine now. He's happy with where he is. They're happy with what they're doing. It sounds like he's more interested in sticking around. That's pretty hot, by the way. He sounds like he's more interested in sticking around than anything else. So I'm curious where you might get the feeling that he's not as interested in sticking around, because everything I've been reading lately is almost reinforced that I think that he might stay in San Jose, which would be great. I mean, for the right price. Again, if you're paying one guy way too much money, it's going to hurt your depth down the
11
road.
million.
But yeah, I mean, 11 million would be great.
Sign him.
Yeah.
11 million bucks, 8 years.
If that's what he wants.
Done.
He want McDavid money. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't understand how you would think that he doesn't want to be here. I haven't
So
really
let's
seen
put it.
anything
Yeah, let's put it
else.
this way. Can you just update your comment with
Yeah.
what makes you think that? Was
That
there
was
something that you heard, for instance?
Tyler McElroy.
McElroy
McElroy.
McElroy.
or
McElroy.
McElroy? Could be.
It's MC, not
Yeah.
MAC.
Maybe it's MC
McElroy.
Elroy.
It could be. MC Elroy. Are
MC
you a DJ?
Elroy.
Or are you master
Anyway.
of ceremonies? Anyway.
From Matt Lowe, was Melker Carlson's performance last night worthy enough to show what he's worth to the team? Everyone's crapping on Melker Carlson. I don't understand why. There was a whole article on this like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I didn't
Um,
read this one.
from Gackel asking Carlson, like, everyone's like, nobody likes what you're doing, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, why is everyone dumping on him? Like, he's doing just fine. There's nothing wrong with Melker Carlson.
Yeah. We have to remember he's a lower utilization type guy, right?
But he's
They're
that
gonna
guy
use
that
him-
works hard and,
Yeah.
and kills penalties. We don't have a lot of penalty killers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if he goes down, who would you bring up for a penalty killer?
No, that's true.
We don't really have a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah. Anyway.
I don't
Moving
have
on.
anything else to say. I mean, really, I think my expectations for Melker Carlson aren't super high. He does what I expect him to do with the minutes that he has and the situations that they're going to play him in. He's not out there to score a lot of goals, and if he does, hey, great, but that's not why he's out there. So I don't know. I don't really have crazy expectations for him. I think what he's doing with the minutes he's given are exactly what he's being asked to do, and I'm fine with that. Not everybody on the team has to be a goal scorer, so I'm okay with it.
Uh,
What is your take?
Are you mic'd up?
you got it?
I hope so. I'm mic'd up. He said I'm good to go.
Okay.
Is he on, Jay?
Can you guys hear
good?
Joe? Get Super Crew Grip Joe? Go
Well,
ahead,
it's
bud.
gonna be, like, delayed, but-
What's your question? Yeah.
Well, my question actually is Christopher's question. What's
Okay.
your take on calling up Perron if Don Swift's going to miss the next game, which it sounds like he is, according to Aaron.
I think that's fine. I don't know if they're going to try moving LeBanc back up and putting Perron on the fourth line, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I don't know
So
what they're gonna
Perron is scoring left, right, and center in the AHL. That's great. What was Radil doing before they called him up? Was he the points leader on the team? Because I don't think he was. So I think there's more to it than just he scores the most goals or he has the most points, and that's why he's going to get called up. I think Radil got called up, and it was because he's got the physicality that they're looking for, the size and the puck protection. So he may play the game the way that they're looking for him to play the game. And it's not just about being more skillful than the people that you're currently playing against, but maybe it's the body size and puck protection and that kind of thing, the way he thinks the game. So I'm not sure that Perron is an automatic for a call-up. I think it'd be great, but I also think Perron is more of a scoring line guy. You don't know that you want to put him on your fourth, your
Right.
lower utilization, right?
I almost have a feeling they're going to try LeBanc
Oh, yeah.
maybe at least one more game, and if it doesn't work out and he gets sent back to the fourth line, then maybe, I mean, they're going to have to call up somebody anyway, but
Yeah.
I would think that they would do LeBanc first and then maybe switch him with Perron if Perron gets called up.
See, and I almost feel like Chartier is probably going to get another look because they're probably going to put him on
Right.
on the fourth. You're probably going to see LeBanc bumped up, and I shouldn't say bumped up. But he's going to be playing with the guys who are going to be getting more minutes. We'll put it that way. And I think that you're going to see somebody get called in to play on those the lesser minutes, right? So I don't know. I mean, it could be Perron, but I don't think so. I think you're going to see probably Chartier coming back in.
I think they give LeBanc another shot, but I also think he's going to have a very short leash. So they either bench him, put him back on the fourth line if in that one game that he doesn't
Yeah.
do too well.
There's a comment actually associated with all this, and that is, if Doug is to make a move, they also this person thinks it will be for a player to replace LeBanc. LeBanc is not fourth line player, and mentioning back also that Perron is not waiver exempt.
That's okay. That was the other question I was going to have: is do we know if he's even waiver exempt? Because if you bring him up,
It was Mr. Chango.
he's on your team. Who is it?
Mr. Chango.
Mr. Chango?
That's what it says.
Okay, hey, good on you for knowing that, bud. Yeah, we can't just bring people up and down at will. So yeah, if we do call him up, he's a shark, because if you push him back down, it's
And this is
someone's gonna
part of the
snag him,
problem, what we talked about earlier, about having
so too many.
basically
guys,
we have
yeah.
3 guys and 2 of them are defensemen, so there's only 1 forward spot.
Yeah.
And usually you want it the other way around, where you have 2 forwards and 1 defenseman to work with. So, and thankfully we did not trade any of those defensemen because we need them now. But Braun's
Hey,
back
Middleton
now.
stepped in, played those 5 minutes that they asked him to play.
He was okay. He 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point of even dressing the guy?
Okay, so then here's the thing. Here's the question. Okay, so we
For
trade
a
Tim Heat.
defenseman,
How,
like-
how many minutes did Tim Heat get in that game?
11. Twice.
You're
as
telling me
much.
we can't bring someone else up to get 11 minutes of ice time
No,
on
I'm
the
ju-
defensive side?
I'm just saying. I'm glad that they didn't get rid of
Sure.
their depth.
Sure.
Yet.
Yeah.
Later they'll be fine.
Yeah. I think if we trade Tim Heat and then down the road we have another 3 defensemen get injured and they're all out at the same time,
I just can't
it's not
imagine
going to be a
that.
problem to bring 2 AHLers up and have them play very low minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
7 minutes apiece, yeah.
I'd like to see them move. What if we could see a package of LeBanc and one of the defensemen go
Yeah.
into a team, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't. But Kurz keeps talking about this too. Like, it's not going to be a star
Yeah.
scoring winger
Yeah.
or something. It's going to be like a veteran guy on a young team that they just want to move and get some assets for.
Yeah.
Basically on a non-contending team.
Yeah.
So that kind of narrows it down a little bit of what teams. First of all, what teams you can trade with.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be in the same division, so you can get
Probably
rid
not
of
going to be in the same
Pacific
conference,
Division.
but
Yeah. And then you can narrow that down with how many veteran guys are left. You know, whatever.
Right.
Well, so changing or switching a little bit here.
Yeah.
What do you guys think the difference of late has been as far as defense and goaltending? 5 straight games, not win or loss or not, but 5 straight games giving up 2 or less goals.
Jones has been stellar in the since the calendar flipped over. I think we've been talking about.
He's
this
warmed up.
Yeah, we've been
warmed up.
talking about this all season.
But
in
I have
our show.
I have a question to that too, because a lot of times if Jones or Dell is doing bad, it's the guys in front of him. Is this also?
Yes.
We're playing. I mean, 'cause
Yes,
you
it
got
is.
your 2
It's
defensive defensemen
But-
are out.
But you're seeing Jones is making a little bit more saves
Yeah.
than he was in the beginning of the season. And if you look at Jones and Dell's stats now comparatively, Dell is staying where he was and Jones is getting better. So I think our team defense is getting better, but also Jones is making a couple more saves.
And I could be wrong. We have to look at the numbers on this, but almost like having the 2 best defensemen like on our team, the defensive side guys, out and not being able to play. It's not like our offensive guys are defending better than they are. I think we're just possessing the puck that much more because we're leaning on them even harder.
Yeah.
So there's not much time for the other team in the defensive zone. So
So
we don't
yeah,
really
you
have to defend against it.
You'd have
right?
to look at like shots against and,
No, exactly.
and scoring chances specifically.
Right,
like-
and the fact that we've got Burns and Carlson both playing about 30 minutes a night,
Yeah.
at least from that one stat that we pulled.
These last 5 games.
Yeah,
have
because
been-
the other guys have been out,
Yeah.
so they've got way more time. Their possession numbers are insane, and I don't think we're spending much time in the defensive zone. I could be wrong, but that's the feeling that I get when you take out your 2 best defenders, and all of a sudden you guys are playing even better. You're letting in less goals. I don't think it's because they're defending better than the best defenders in the league. I think it's because they're possessing the puck more because they're out there so much longer.
So the other team has less time.
They
to
have
actually
less time
score.
to do anything,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
to attack
Well, that's
because
your
we've
thought.
got the puck, right?
It's like
It's almost like the hitting stat.
was gonna-
Yeah, you were just going to say that too. Yeah, yeah. It's almost like the hitting stat. I
we're
could tell as soon as you said. Yeah,
probably getting out hit by every team, and
Yeah.
that's because we have the puck the whole time.
yeah. So it's like, they're not putting on as many shots on goal, and they're not scoring as many goals. Well, yeah, it's because we have the puck. At least that's my sense. Now throw some stats and tell me I'm wrong, but that's just kind of what I feel. That's the explanation that I
So going
have.
back to the Ruzanowski episode,
Yeah.
when he was talking about the old Sharks days with Makarov, Larionov, and Garpenlov, Kevin Constantine said, "You guys do your own
offense,
thing,
yeah.
right?" And the Russian way back then was possess,
Yeah.
possess. And if you possess, you don't have to play defense because you have the puck. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about the other team having the puck. So they would just constantly control and cycle and keep the
Yeah.
puck. And so anyway,
I forget
that's
who it
what you
was.
think of that.
Somebody who was a teammate of Sergei Makarov's, and he was like, he couldn't figure out how to play with him or something like that, and his vocabulary was limited. But Makarov goes, "Give puck to Sergei." It's like, okay. Anyway, go ahead. You got another one?
Sure. Well, moving on.
Okay.
With the team in its current form, it's kind of what you're going. I mean, we talk trades a lot,
Yeah.
but this is not on a particular player. This is David B. With the team in its current form, do you think the Sharks need anything at the deadline?
Just depth at
Yeah,
winger.
I would
position.
say just probably one more winger that they can rely on in case like Donskoy is injured, for instance, in
Right.
case LeBanc's not up to snuff and they need to bench him.
Donskoy he's a great player, but he cannot stay healthy. He's almost like a very fragile player. He also I notice he gets hit a lot, and like takes big hits a lot.
Yeah.
Because he always has he's always looking down at the puck or making moves, and he plays a more European style game where there's not as much hitting because you have bigger ice. It's almost like he's just still not quite used to entering the zone, or he just doesn't care.
He
and
should
just
be used to
takes
that
the
by
hit.
now, that you would think, huh?
But he's still like
Yeah.
he'll take a huge hit every now and then he gets knocked out, and he has a lot of shoulder problems and stuff.
Yeah.
So speaking of taking a huge hit there, this is similar. This is the questions on the same line. If they were to make, if Doug Wilson does want to make or pull the trade trigger and go for that cup run, okay. Well, you guys said depth in the winger position. Does he have to hit? What does he have to give up in order to get that?
Well, we don't have a first round pick this year or next year, and our assets are kind of
I think for what you're
Fair.
going to ask for, you're probably not looking at giving up a first round anyway.
right. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm saying we're not going to get a high end
Yeah.
player coming back. We're
Especially
gonna
now with Nash having to.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, I know you are. By the way, I'm just gonna tell you guys now. That's pretty much my opening to the show tonight when we record. I know how I do the silly opening sometimes.
I wish he would have retired after the trade deadline so I could just keep hammering to Paul that he's gonna sign just to piss him off. But yeah. Anyway.
yeah. Yep.
Uh,
No, I knew it. I
Antoine
didn't know.
Vermette is still available, right?
I'm on board. I'm on board with Antoine Vermette. Not on board with Rick Nash.
All right. Well, real quick,
Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to jump back and forth
Yes.
between because we're obviously a few seconds delayed here.
Guys.
Garplinov
Garp.
Garpenlov.
was not Russian.
Right, but he was on.
Of fence.
He
Yeah,
was on like the Russian.
He was
They
just
called
part of
it-
that. Yeah.
I know he's not Russian, but that was the
Russian style of play.
right.
Yeah.
They had him with Sandis Ozolin was the other one,
Yeah.
and Jeff Norton, who was obviously not
Jeff Norton.
Yeah.
Not really.
right. He was the
Jeff-
other
Jeff
defenseman
Norton.
paired
Right.
with Sandis, and the five of them.
Norton.
Going back to the episode with Randy or with Dan, he was saying that Kevin Constantine had a system, but he told that one line, just do whatever.
Yeah.
Like everyone else was very
Within their system, but
Right.
for that line, you just do the way you want
yeah.
to do it. Yeah.
That's what I was referring
Yeah.
to when I said the Russians.
All right. So, but moving on again. So, talking about you got depth in the wings, what you're looking for. What can you give up? And Sandra would like to know, realistically, is there a way to keep the team fully intact for next year?
No.
Well, hang on. Let me finish the question.
Well, yes, there is. It's just unrealistic.
Well, okay. So is it possible to keep Jumbo, Pavs, Carlson, Meyer, Donskoy, Sorensen, and LeBanc?
Possible? Anything's possible. Plausible?
Yeah.
No.
I
You don't
don't
think
think so.
I don't. Carlson's the big holdup for everything.
Yeah.
Timo Meyer's gonna be a big one. That's gonna be $6 million a year, I think.
Easy.
Maybe
6 million a
more.
year,
Yeah.
Although that's not really fair because this is like his breakout season, so they might give him a bridge deal.
Well, are any of those? So all those
Right.
guys are all open right now. None of those guys are actually locked in, right? Of the ones I named.
Timo is an RFA, so he's restricted, meaning people are afraid that another team's going to give him an offer sheet, and that means if he's a restricted free agent and they get an offer sheet from somebody else, the Sharks can match it, but then they're kind of dictating the price at the same time. So if let's say Ottawa throws him an offer sheet and says we're going to pay him $10 million a year,
Cool.
and the
go.
Sharks would be like, okay, you
Yeah.
can have him. Then Ottawa has to compensate with a ton of draft picks
yeah.
based on how much the salaries, and $10 million would be like so many first
It
round
would be,
picks
yeah.
for every year. So, well, that's why a lot of teams don't do it. A lot of teams also the GMs are friendly with each other, which I think we talked about this
Yeah,
before. Like
yeah.
you just don't see offer sheets. And even though this summer is the summer of offer sheets because there's so many good players that are going to be restricted free agents, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe one or two at the most,
Yeah.
not like 10, 15, 20, you know? So I'm not worried about that. But
Yeah.
Timo has to get signed. Pavelski, I think Pavelski will get signed if Carlson goes to free agency. If Carlson stays, I don't think they're going to keep Pavs.
I don't think they can. I think the season that Pavelski's having right now, he's going to command more than they can pay him.
Right.
So, again, is there a way to keep that together? Yes. Is it plausible? No. It's really not.
I think Thornton stays, and I think he stays as the third-line center and will take an even bigger discount than before.
I think Thornton's got nothing left to prove after we win the Cup this year. So
Right,
I think
right.
he's done.
Let's see. We got trying to catch up. I want to make sure I get everyone's questions, but I know we're covering some stuff, and then
Yeah.
we end up coming back to it. So I'm just going to read whatever the next one is here.
Sure.
Which I'm not quite. Jack Frost, have you all thought about doing your own Avengers crossover and getting someone like Steve Dangle, who also has a show on YouTube?
Avengers crossover?
Steve Dangle.
Who's Steve Dangle?
Apparently, it's someone you guys got to look into now.
It's someone I got to look into. Actually, no, wait. Dangle. That name does sound familiar. I think he's a YouTuber.
Well, yeah.
I think I've heard of him, but I don't know anything that he does. I just heard the name.
Well, you'd have to check him
And
out.
I've heard it again just now, so thank you for that. We'll go ahead and we'll look into Steve Dangle. Dangle?
Dangle.
Like Dangle Snapselli.
Right.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we'll look into Steve Dangle and see what's going on. Avengers crossover?
It's because they did an Avengers night. Wasn't it Avengers night? Or
Yeah,
Marvel night?
Yeah, Marvel Night. They did. That was the Guarding the Net bobble that they had, which I didn't. I missed out on that one.
That was the last game, wasn't it?
Yes, the last
Yeah.
game. Actually,
I'll jump real quick.
on the subject of bobbles, while Joe's reading this one, check out the Hurdle holiday suit.
That's a
bobble
lot
there.
of detail in there.
Yeah, it's like
That's
snowman
impressive.
and like snowflakes and like socks and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So actually, Jack Frost, also second question here.
Yeah.
Who are some future people we could see on the show? You guys got anyone in the works? or-
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say names, but broadcasting group guys for sure. Some more of them. We've actually already talked to some of them, and just in passing, and it sounds like they're on board. So without actually naming names,
We don't want to commit them.
Yeah, exactly. But broadcasting group guys, we think that it's great having those guys on because they have a very intimate relationship with the team, and they can bring some really good insights because they're just watching the team day in, day out, breaking things down, numbers,
Yeah.
and they offer a lot to the viewer
Right.
and to us, you know. So having those guys on would be great, I think. So those guys, and then a couple, or at least one high-profile employee, we'll say.
A couple,
Um,
two.
Two?
Yeah. And
Only
then
two? Okay, two.
I'll name this one because he's been on the show, but Kurz said he'd come back again.
Oh yeah, Kurz said he'd come back. Now some of you guys don't like Kevin Kurz, and I understand because he's not a homer. But you should really embrace the
He's an
the
objective.
candidness,
Yeah.
how objective he is about the team and how they're doing, and kind of take your fan hat off for just a little bit and read his article or watch the show or whatever with him on it, and try not to think of it so much as he's just slamming the team, because I know it sounds like that sometimes.
Try not
But
to get stuck on the.
that's part of his job too. Is he has to be very, he can't be a fan, and
Right.
he's not a fan, which is fine. But
Right.
he's writing it from a place where he's just being very objective about it, and he's not trying to inject any like fandom into it, which I think is a good thing.
and get past the Drake comment. Like, he messed up. Whatever.
You guys rubbed him on that
I
one.
get a
Yeah.
little bit, yeah. If you don't, which show was that? I don't remember.
It was the
Doesn't
Kevin
matter.
Kurz show.
Yeah, the
You're
Kevin
right,
Kurz, the one
yeah.
that says Kevin Kurz on it. If you watch that, and if for nothing else, if you watch the show open, then I'll be happy with you. So go find that one once the live is done here, and
All right.
give that a look.
Back to trade talk.
Yeah.
Drew
many
would like to know,
trades.
can the Sharks trade either of their 2 second-round picks in 2019, even if Ottawa's owned one now by the deadline? The language was weird reading the conditions.
Oh, can they trade it before it's actually been committed to Ottawa?
It sounds like that's,
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know. That's a very technical.
I would think
And-
no.
I would think no.
Drew also mentions, or is saying, that Mike Hoffman pick is currently top 10 pick in the second round we own right now. So, it sounds like
Don't get too attached to it because I wouldn't be surprised if it gets traded.
Yeah. Well, again, I think the thing that we need, or
That's
the thing
because
that we're asking for.
Ottawa's so low right now.
Yeah, but I think the thing that we need and we'll be asking for in terms of getting a trade, I don't think we're going to trade a first or second rounder for it.
No,
It's
I
a
agree.
rental player that's going to be filling in on the wing. You're probably going to look at like a third, fourth line winger.
And
I
I
don't
haven't-
think that's going to command a second round pick. That's my take on it. At least.
I haven't looked yet at the draft class coming in for 2019.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a deep draft or not. So even if it's a high second round
Oh.
pick, it might not be worth that much.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple good names, the Hughes, right? But
Right.
in terms of how
Well,
deep
that's
that
a
draft
top
goes.
overall pick,
No,
though.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's a big name, but how far does that go into
Right.
the draft?
It's not like the draft from 2015 or 16, the one
Austin
Mikko
Matthews won.
Rantanen and and Timo Meyer, like all those guys. That was a very deep.
yeah,
all those guys are turning into superstars already. So that was a good draft year. So I don't know if it's comparable. So and again, don't get too attached to that. It's cool that we own that pick, and it's almost like a late first round pick, but it could be gone.
Depending on how bad Ottawa does, it could be.
Well, they're in like last place right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, he's saying top 10, so it could be on the top of the top 10. Even,
Of the second round.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, anyway.
All
right, Christopher Lindsay here. Do you guys think that Karlsson will sign an extension as soon as the ability to sign for 8 years is given to his agent? Is sitting. Sorry, let me.
Yeah, I understand the question. The question is he going to sign it right away?
Wait. Do you think he's going to sign it right away, right after the All-Star break, or do you think he's going to pull a Tavares?
If it's 8 years, he has to wait until after the trade deadline, not the All-Star game. So we wouldn't know until after the day after the deadline.
Yeah.
I think if they already have that in place, I don't know if they're allowed to negotiate it at all. Like, I don't know if they have to wait to negotiate it or wait to announce it at that point.
I don't think they have to wait to announce.
They can't negotiate because they can negotiate anything right now.
Yeah.
Anything they can negotiate anything.
Yeah.
They can't announce. They can't sign a 8-year deal.
Exactly.
But they can sign a 7-year or anything else.
They can agree all they want on a gentleman's agreement, handshake, and everything else. They can have the whole thing drafted out. They can have Doug Wilson's signature on it.
I mean,
ready to go. But until Erik Karlsson signs it, there's no agreement, right?
Right.
So that's going to happen.
I don't know. I still don't know which way. I'm almost leaning now that he is going to stay. But for the first time in his entire career, he'd be able to choose where he wants to go on July 1st.
That's true.
He's been drafted by Ottawa, was signed, multiple contracts, and then was traded to San Jose. He didn't choose to come to San Jose.
He said, I like winning. So let's look at the people that are winning right now.
I understand. I could see both sides.
Who's going to pay him $11 million a year that's already winning right now?
I know. So the other counter argument that he is going to stay is that he's already met with the owner several times, I believe. Doug Wilson, like they met with him and his wife, so it wasn't just him. So and he's got friends on the team. He's making friends. He's hanging out with Burns a lot. So I think I almost am leaning more towards he is going to stay.
There was an article, and I'm not going to be able to find it right now, but there was an article. I think it might have been Gackle or just on the NHL, and it was talking about Karlsson and how he was talking about he and his wife are very much settled in now. We're very happy with the Bay Area. The whole article basically sounded like he's going to stay.
I'll be happy when they buy a house here. Then that means they ain't going anywhere.
Well, so Christopher chimed back in here. I should have worded that better, and I apologize because I know I butchered the question. Karlsson's agent is meeting with Wilson to discuss contracts after the All-Star break.
Right.
So they're going to start discussing. So I guess as soon as a contract is available, even if it's like right after the trade deadline, do you think he'll sign right away, or do you think he'll wait until to see what they do?
Well, maybe they were waiting to negotiate or even talk until things got settled.
Yeah.
Maybe it was already decided when he got traded that they would wait until after the All-Star break to kind of give him time to settle down and everything. So
that like day one, start being like, hey, how you like it here? How you like
the
it here?
fact that they're even having these talks is promising.
It's not like in Ottawa where they didn't even meet with the agent or talk, and they just traded him.
Yeah.
So obviously the Sharks are interested in keeping him and signing him. So there's an interest there, and I think it's mutual.
Yeah. I mean, and again, he said, "I like winning." I mean, we have the ability to pay him. It's gonna be at the expense of some other assets on our team returning, like a Pavelski, for instance.
Right.
Oh, well.
But I don't think that Pavelski alone not being on the team is gonna totally screw us, if you will, for in terms of winning. I think he's getting settled into San Jose. That's what everything that had been in that article had said. And I think he's getting comfortable here. I think he said, I like winning. It's more fun. I don't have to worry about scoring goals all the time. He said, I gave up on that a long time ago.
You guys just score for me or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he said that. He goes, I can't score anymore, so everybody else is doing it for me.
I think that was a little more sarcastic.
Well, that was. But no, in that article, he had said, I've given up on that a long time ago. Yeah. The idea that I have to be the guy. Because in Ottawa, he had to be the guy. Now he's able to get the puck to other people, find those passing lanes, and get everybody else going with their goals. and it's leading to a win. He's not worried about how he does. He's worried about how the team does. Whereas in Ottawa, he's worried about how he does.
Right.
So I don't know. Again, I think everything's pointing to he's going to resign, and I think it's a great thing. Anybody who's not on the Karlsson train so far, I'm hop aboard.
They haven't been watching.
Yeah,
the
hop
last
aboard.
15
I was
games.
a very much what have you done for me lately kind of guy. Just watching his, because like what you had mentioned early in the season and his body language, but he's done a lot for me lately, so I'm okay with him.
Yeah, good.
But let me ask you this: Dim is wondering, would you consider trading Vlasic to keep Karlsson and then forward depth for next season due to the success of playing just Burns and
All right,
Karlsson?
Vlasic's not going anywhere because he has a no movement clause.
Done.
He can't.
End of question.
unless he asks to move.
Yeah.
Well, you could consider it.
Well, okay.
You could set a whole trade in place, and you can go to Vlasic and be like, Vlasic, we have this trade to get you out of here, and he'd be like, no,
Yeah.
cool. So no,
That's what it comes down to. If he doesn't want to leave the area, then that's it.
it's not worth pursuing a trade option when someone has a no movement clause.
And you sour that relationship with the.
Maybe he'd say yes because he'd be like, well, screw you. But
If anything, he goes to them and says,
Exactly.
get me out of San Jose
I
because
want
I'm
more
not getting the
minutes
minutes
or something like that.
That's exactly.
So I got another question here again with Karlsson again, but this is from Deb. Is Dylan more valuable to the Sharks because of his chemistry with EK65 than Braun? Not saying he's better, just his.
I understand the question. Yeah,
Yeah.
and part of me says yes.
Which
I mean, part of me says yes. Like that Dylan is at this stage more valuable than Braun is because he's playing better with EK65, and Braun, quite frankly, has played with a guy that he's played with for his entire time here in San Jose, and they weren't able to get it done. So this season, at least, yeah, absolutely, I think Dylan is more valuable than Braun is. I mean,
I think Dylan is. I mean, he kind of hit the jackpot, right? Getting
Oh, yeah.
Karlsson as his line mate because now his numbers are inflating like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So his value is going to go up, especially when it comes to a new contract, which
Yeah.
I don't know how many years he has left. Probably a handful. But Braun, I think it's too hard to compare because they're both right-handed defensemen, Karlsson and Braun. So they wouldn't most likely be paired together.
right.
So in that way, it kind of sucks for Braun because he's never going to be paired up with Karlsson unless some injuries or something moves
Sure.
around. But
looks like he's until 2020, by the way. It's a signing date,
Dylan.
June 29, 2015, 5-year contract.
Yeah.
Dylan could possibly be a
UFA.
guy that gets taken by Seattle.
That's true.
They could have him exposed to be taken by Seattle. So and that's way down the road, a couple more years.
Oh.
So
That's one way to get Vlasic off your books.
he has a no movement clause,
Oh, they have to protect him.
Yep.
That's right.
so they're forced to protect
That's
him.
right.
Hey, Aaron,
So no.
quit covering your mic.
What?
You keep folding your arms and you're covering your mic.
Oh, I didn't think I was.
Well, apparently you are.
Sorry.
Yeah, Aaron, knock it off.
Yeah, come on,
Whatever.
come on, guys. I had to move mine because I think I was just like constantly rubbing it. But all right, so I want to do one more here with trade talk, and then I want you guys to appreciate. Well, Christopher wants you to say, can we just appreciate the career season that Dylan's having?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
We talked about this 2 or 3 episodes ago. We talked about Dylan.
I
a
don't
lot.
know. And I'm not saying anybody's watching the show because they're probably not. But I did say it. I did bring it up. We brought up the numbers, and then less than a week later, all of a sudden it was like Brody went on with an interview with Dylan. Somebody wrote an article about how great Dylan's doing, and I'm going, come on, guys.
All right,
Then
so
you said, what'd you say about Melker? What'd you start calling him?
Oh yeah. I called Melker Karlsson. I said on this show we'll call him MK68.
Right. And who said that next?
And Dan Rizanowski the next day. Oh no, it wasn't on the show. It was on Twitter. I think I put it up. I think I was
you
responding to
replied.
somebody.
You replied, that's
so
what it was.
stop calling him the other Karlsson. I'm like, yeah, that's true because he was here first. You don't want to do that to the guy. So I'm like, hey, I've been calling him MK68. So feel free to do the same. And she's like, whatever, cool. And Dan Rizanowski was part of that because the person was barking at Dan and
Right,
Jamie,
he was
I
on the
think is
same
what it was.
thread, yeah.
And it was hilarious because in that stint of watching or listening on the radio, he called him MK68. And I'm like, oh! And so I started tweeting to him, right? And then I hear him say, and over to Melker Karlsson. Melker Karlsson takes up the boards. Melker Karlsson. And so he kept, instead of saying the other Karlsson, he kept, drilling in that I'm going to say his whole name. I was like, that's awesome, Dan. Don't even think I didn't catch that because I did.
Well, speaking of MK68 over here,
Yeah.
Brundy, just was I saying, hey, thoughts on Karlsson's season? Obviously, you guys are
Yeah.
happy with it. Oh, and he or she.
Which Karlsson?
MK68.
Okay, all right. The other.
Always seeming to give 100% every game and taking hits to make plays. So just
Oh, he's the
throwing it
energy
there.
guy. He's the fourth line
Yeah.
energy guy, and that's what he does. So that's what he gets paid for.
Yeah.
Right. But
Again,
I want to throw. Sorry,
Go ahead.
I'm going to interrupt you because we are 10 minutes, Jason.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I get through all these. A lot of people are throwing out possible just trade targets.
So many trades. Okay.
Well, hey,
The single.
well, actually, I don't know.
No.
Kevin Hayes,
I heard that one.
Kevin Hayes, Wayne Simmons, Zach
No.
Cassian,
Yeah.
Eric
No.
Stahl,
No.
Yeah. I don't think Minnesota will get rid of him.
Brock Nelson.
No,
this
because
one-
the Islanders,
Islanders
are
are
doing
doing
better.
well. They wouldn't trade him.
This one I love because I just love the name. Cal
Clutterbuck?
Clutterbuck.
Clutterbuck. And then
Princess Clutterbuck.
low end trade targets in addition to Vermette, Troy Brower, and Chris Kunitz.
Brower, no.
No, Kunitz,
He's just
no,
an
I don't think
anchor.
so.
Wayne Simmons is going to cost too much. They're going
Yeah.
to want a first-round pick, and we don't have one.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it to me.
And we're
He's
not going to
having-
re-sign him because he's more money. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about could Marlowe come back this year if
No.
Toronto needs to shed some salary?
I wouldn't. I read about that a couple weeks ago. We talked
Yeah,
about
we
that.
talked about
Marlowe
last-
getting traded back to the Sharks. No, because they didn't want to sign him to that same 6-year, $6 million deal.
$6 million cap hit. That's the end of the story right there. We're not bringing Marlowe back on this team.
He has a whole nother season at $6 million.
Yeah.
So would you rather pay Pavelski $6 million or Timo?
Here's the thing.
$6 million?
Here's the thing. Unless Toronto retains salary, but that's totally not. That's the reason they want to trade him is because they don't want to retain any salary. They don't
Yeah.
want to have any of that on the books. So even for the last year of his contract, they wouldn't even split it halfway with us because they need that money to pay everybody else that they've got. So I just don't see Marlowe coming back except for the one-day contract to sign and,
It's too
and retire.
expensive. His
So-
contract's not friendly enough.
So I want to bring this up and maybe give you you guys a few minutes to stew on it here.
Okay.
This is something I hadn't even considered, and this is for after the season already. All right.
Okay.
Would or he's saying Matt Lowe here would think Dylan is a prime candidate for Seattle's expansion pick.
Yeah, he just said
that earlier.
But I'm like, I didn't even think about that. It's like we have all these guys who, and you're allowed to protect, I think, like 8 or something like that.
7 forwards, 3 defensemen, or 8 skaters.
Yeah.
Right. So you could pick like eight offense or
And
8
one
forwards and
yeah.
no
one
defense,
goalie,
or
too.
4
Well,
defensemen,
one goalie?
4 forwards,
One
or
goalie.
One goalie.
But if Dylan expires in 2020, and that's when the draft is,
He can just basically be a free agent and then re-sign with the Sharks, and we could protect somebody
Yeah.
else. Yeah. So there's ways to skirt that, which is great. Maybe Timo Meier gets a similar contract so we can protect him.
no, he'd be one of the key guys that they would protect anyway. I mean, at that point, Joe Thornton will be gone.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Pavelski
protect Joe at
Probably
this point
won't be
anyway.
here. So you're probably gonna be protecting who's the key guys left?
Couture.
Couture,
Hurdle.
Burns, Hurdle, Meyer.
We'll go through forwards first.
Yeah,
Carlson,
forwards
We got
first.
okay.
7
Forwards
forwards.
first. Couture, Meyer, Hurdle, right off the top, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kane,
Yep. Because he's still there for a while.
and then
Donskoy.
why am I blanking?
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I heard.
Donskoy,
I
maybe?
heard Kane could possibly be exposed.
Well, somebody did say they can still take UFAs. So
if he's
in the
like-
draft, you could still
Yeah,
take a
yeah,
UFA.
absolutely they can. Yeah.
They could, but if you take a guy off a team as a UFA and he doesn't sign with you and he's a free agent and can go anywhere else, you
Yeah.
just wasted a whole pick from another team.
Yeah.
You want to get a guy that's
So
signed or an RFA.
yeah,
So-
they
so
might
the
might
U-
take Kane, but he doesn't have a contract, so then he doesn't
Kane's
have to say.
will be, but
Okay,
but if
whoever,
Kane's
yeah.
production
In-
drops off and,
Yeah.
and he's getting paid whatever it is, $6
7
million,
million.
$7 million a year,
7 by 7. Yeah.
they'll be like, yeah, you could take this guy, and plus they're going to need high salary guys because they have a floor,
Yeah, there's a
salary cap
salary
floor
cap.
that they have to hit.
Yeah, minimum.
So the Sharks could be like, yeah, we want to get this guy for books. I'm not saying they do,
Yeah.
but there's a chance. And he's from Vancouver, which is very close to Seattle.
Yeah.
So that was like that's why they're thinking of like maybe they expose
I think
Kane.
there's too much emphasis put on where a guy comes from, like his hometown.
Tavares.
Yeah, no, that was a childhood dream to play for that team.
He's
That's
from
not
that
because
side.
it's by my old house. Like that's I
Well,
don't
he's
think
from that
that's-
area.
Yeah,
So it's childhood
it was
dream
his
then.
childhood dream to play for the Leafs because he lived in the area. But I don't
And
think it was because it's next to my house where I grew up. I don't think anybody cares about that. But
I would
don't
think if I were a Canadian in general, like Toronto is the hub, right?
Right.
Of hockey.
Montreal, Toronto.
Yeah,
Look,
Ottawa's
so
the
if I-
capital.
so if
Montreal's
I had
I'd
a
take
chance to play
Mecca.
for
I
one of,
mean,
like-
Montreal these days.
If I had a chance to play in Toronto, I'd probably go to Toronto. Just
okay,
That's like playing. Well, I don't want to say the Yankees. That's not quite right.
whatever.
Yeah.
what's next there?
well, that's actually I think we're mostly caught up. Marlowe, there's a note here. Marlowe's making 4.3 this season, 2.1 next.
No. So he gets paid that much.
That's his salary, but his cap hit
yeah.
is
So when
6.
he's getting paid that much
They
because they
front-
already front loaded him.
They
paid
front
him
loaded
it,
the,
yeah.
the money, so he gets was it 6 for 3 years?
Yes. Yeah.
So 18 million.
Right.
They paid up most of that 18 in the front, so that when if they were to buy him out, they wouldn't have to actually pay the cash out, but the
Yeah.
cap hit would still be $6 million.
Right.
The cap hit is the problem. The cash isn't
Yeah.
the problem. So if they retain the salary, the cap hit is still going to be $6 million.
Right. And again, the only way to reduce that is to have Toronto retain salary, which would eat away at the cap amount that is.
Well, no, even
going
if
the
they
other way.
retained the salary, that's
Are you
not
sure?
salary. I'm pretty sure that's.
I thought if you do that, it takes away from the cap hit.
I'm going to ask one question. I'm
Yeah.
going to step out here for a
Go ahead.
second. At what point after the trade deadline do we start worrying about Carlson not signing? Should there be, and this is I'm just adding this part, should there be a Carlson watch, like a counter?
My Carlson watch doesn't start until after the trade deadline anyway. So
Mine doesn't start until after playoffs are done.
okay, that's a good point.
Because
You think he wants to see what we can do?
no, I'm not going to get worried
Okay.
until if he doesn't sign an extension. I'm not going to get worried the day after the trade deadline.
yeah.
I'm going to be like, okay, he just doesn't want to deal with it
Yeah,
right now,
or-
or maybe
yeah.
they're hammering out details. Maybe he doesn't want to be here. I'm not going to care. So I'm not worried until after playoffs and everything's done and before July 1st. If he says, yeah, wasn't as cool as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I want to get out of here. I'm like, all right. It doesn't bother me that much. I don't.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. In terms of worry, yeah, I probably the worry doesn't need to step in until after that's all said and done. But when is Carlson watch? It's not right now. It's going to be after the trade deadline. So that's where I'll be like interested in seeing. Okay, is he going to say something, or is he going to do it before? Like, hey, I'm committed. I'm just going to do it. Or is he going to like kind of wait it out, feel it out a little bit, and
I
go
just
after
thought of
playoffs? So
If Carlson resigns, there's a conditional draft pick, right? That went back to Ottawa.
yeah,
What if he resigns after the draft and before July 1st?
so he becomes a free agent and then
No,
signs-
he's not a free agent yet.
No, but he becomes a free agent and then signs with the Sharks.
No,
No.
because there's a gap of the draft is 1 week and then the deadline or the day he starts as a UFA.
Right.
What if he signs on June 30th as an extension, 8-year extension
Oh.
after the draft, but before the July 1st deadline? Completely screw the system.
That's interesting actually.
Right, because of it's based on his signing, correct?
Yeah, and I don't know what the conditional pick, if it's for the following draft or if it's for
Yeah.
this upcoming one. I don't remember.
Whatever. He wouldn't
Right,
want to
yeah.
do that to Ottawa though.
That'd be awesome.
He wouldn't want to do
yeah,
that.
you would.
Well,
My forever home. Come on.
I mean,
Ottawa, the city,
Yeah.
not the team.
Fair.
I agree with Drew saying that it could be a big distraction though.
Yeah.
Because that's what everyone in the media is going to focus on. It's like, hey, the Sharks have won 10 in a row, and they're going to be like, yeah, but what's Carlson doing?
Right, yeah.
Right. But hey, are we going to beat Pittsburgh in the coming up game?
Yes. Of course. We're gonna win out.
5-2.
I told you we're gonna win out. I
You're
said that
never
last
gonna
week.
lose.
I said that last week. So far, so good. Okay.
So far, all right. How about
I'm also planning on living forever, and so far, so good. So,
well, hey.
anyway.
Why don't you guys? I mean, first off, I don't think I've heard anything about stores or anything. You guys want to talk about that?
Stores.
Oh yeah, we got swag.
There you go.
We got
Salesmen. We got
because we got
swag.
1 minute left. You might as well plug your
sure.
own stuff.
Yeah,
right?
we got
thefinfactor.com. Okay, there's a little shop area, and we have black, teal, and gray shirts.
There's somewhere around
We
here.
also have a black V-cut women's shirt, which looks phenomenal, by the way. And then the hats as well. The hats are very, very nice, high quality stuff. The lettering and everything
one
else
over there?
sticks off pretty
It's
nice. It's
underneath
pretty
all this.
puffy.
Yeah, forget it.
So really good stuff, really good quality stuff. And then again, snapback, so we don't have to worry about the small, medium / large, extra large for the flex fit stuff. We just decided to do the snapback, and it seems to work out pretty well.
Works for the women too because they can put their
ponytail
hair in a
through,
ponytail and put it
which
through.
is again. So if you have someone, a lady in your life that you love, get her the V-neck and the ponytail hat.
Or
and
if you're a lady
boom.
watching the show and you want to buy something to support it,
That works too. Or if they have a lady that they love.
like we're talking to only men.
I didn't.
Just saying.
This is California.
saying.
Of all
I'm
places,
just
I'm not
saying.
only talking to men right now. So just saying. Regardless, thank you guys so much for tuning into the live. We really appreciate you jumping on and giving us all your comments and questions. This to me is more fun, I would say, than the show actually is sometimes. So we really like the interaction. Well, because we get to actually talk with them,
I
right?
know.
No, it's great. So from all the way out in, what was it?
Ottawa.
Ottawa.
We're in
Thank
Ottawa.
you so much for tuning in, Mr. Ottawa, whoever you are, mystery person. We'll get the name later, and thank you.
Christopher
and,
Lindsay.
And for everyone,
you, Christopher.
yeah. And for everyone else tuning in at San Jose, thank you so much. And I hope you got a chance to go out to the Barracuda game today and get a jersey. That was a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else? We good to go?
That's it.
Think
Super
so.
Creed Grip Joe, do you want to say goodbye to everybody? Or?
Oh, goodbye, everybody. Oh,
Goodbye.
and by the way, somebody did mention that we need younger people to, not to talk for you, but to announce things for you.
Younger people to
Yeah.
announce things.
Paul, you've been living forever. It's too long.
Oh, yeah. All right. Sorry. Anyway. Thanks so much again, and we'll get a video out to you guys tomorrow morning, I believe. So
Yep.
Stay
Check
tuned.
out episode 32 tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye.